Hello again and welcome back to All Grown Up, or welcome if you haven't been here before. My name is Frances and I today would like to talk to you about my continued recovery from my laparoscopic, I don't know what that is, hysterectomy that I had just over 6 weeks ago. So I wanted to do like a catch-up video of 0 to 6 weeks as it were, so and see where I am now compared to how I've, all the way through really up until 6 weeks. So I've made some notes, so if I look down, that's why. And so, okay, so initially my first week, my sister looked after me for that week. So, and also I had my catheter. Now, if you haven't heard about this catheter thing, I've done a whole video on it, which is funny. So please go and check that out. It wasn't a funny time, but I've made it into a funny thing because it was so hard. So, so I had the catheter, I had my sister here. So it was lovely company. It was a, and it was just very much, I was looking inwardly, obviously, as my healing was at its highest kind of level of need. Does that make sense? So I was at my most, it was the hardest week. The second week, my son Isaiah was here with me, which was lovely. I love spending time with him anyway, and that was really nice. I was eating well, and just having, continuing with my progress. There was still quite a bit of pain. There was still quite a lot of, painkillers involved. And then, but little by little, I was being able to kind of progress. And then after that, so from week 3, I've spent the majority of the time by myself. My other son is here, and we've been doing like some walks and things like that. But he, he does his thing, and so he's 18. So so it was a very strangely lonely time. So yeah, that was interesting. I'll probably go into that in a little bit more detail. But with respect to some kind of more ordinary stuff, I suppose, it's taken a lot longer to feel like myself again. And I thought I would bounce back quicker, if I'm really honest. I thought, well, I'm fit, I'm healthy, I'm gonna feel really good quite quickly. And I really didn't. And in fact, I kind of spiraled a bit downwards. And that, I think, was to do with the fact that I had no one around. And so, yeah, I've learned, this is my main lesson over this period of healing, is that although I am an introvert, I do really value connection, and I value relationship with people around. So people at work, people outside of this house. So my life in the last 6 weeks has revolved around this house, my garden, and then my park that's just outside my house, and so at the bottom. And so therefore I'm, I haven't really been in contact with very many people. So that was a great lesson, because I always thought as an introvert and an empath, being outside in the world is quite hard. It's loud and noisy, and there's lots going on, and I feel everything. And I kind of feel like, and this isn't going to sound good, but I kind of tolerated a lot of it. But I feel like I was tolerating it rather than enjoying it. And I think that when I go back into the world, which is going to be quite soon, I think, go back to work, go back to doing my normal activities and being with people, I think I'm going to appreciate it a lot more, because I'll know what it was like to not have it. And that sense of just, I'm a person helper. I love to help people with talking to them, or help people in the shop, or just help people generally. And I haven't been able to do that. And I've really felt the lack of being able to help. So that's been a really interesting kind of journey from, once my body was starting to heal and I was starting to think a bit more externally, that's the thing that I really, that is that has struck me the biggest, as it were, as with this recovery. So I think that's interesting. It's not a typical just to do with a hysterectomy, but I don't know whether it's going to be interesting to you, but it is. I thought it was I'm really pleased with that particular bit of learning. So there we go. I'm just looking down for, these are my socks that I've been wearing, not these, I had 2 pairs, for the last 6 weeks, and I had them on until yesterday. And I have finally got legs that have got no tight socks on them, and it's just like, it's lovely. So I'm very happy about that. Also, the exciting news is that I started, this is my drive, and my car is just out there, and I started driving yesterday. I had my first drive, and it started first time. I love that car, and it was really nice. And what I really, so I went to a different park, and it was like, oh, lovely trees and beautiful, and what I'm really happy about now is that I feel like I've got a bit more independence, that I can go shopping, although I still can't lift the big bags. I can go shopping with my son, but I can drive and I can go around and visit people and go to the woods. So desperate to get to those woods. However, I'm going soon, so I'm very excited about it. So driving, and now, I mean, over the last, I think, week, I have started to feel more like myself again, like myself, but a slightly different version. It feels like there's been really massive change, and I don't think I'm not there yet, but I feel like I'm like a bud, you know. And if you look at the trees at the moment, we're in December. If you look at the trees at the moment, on the end of the trees, there's these tiny little buds, and they're going to grow over the whole of the winter, and then they're going to burst forth. Very exciting in spring. But I feel a bit like a bud, and I'm ready to and I've got a lot of weakness in my body that I'm trying to strengthen, and I'm going to work on over the next few weeks until I feel my strong self again. But I'm not starting from the beginning, because obviously I have all of my history. So I'm starting for this new fresh kind of time of growth. And it feels like if I was writing a book, this would be the very end of one chapter, just about to start the next chapter. So it's a really, really exciting, I'm so excited for what's to come. But I haven't been. This is quite a new, fresh way of looking, because I said, I spiraled quite low at certain points during the last 3 or 4 weeks. It's been, you know, quite challenging to find my peace, to find my quiet, and to find my calm, which is strange because I've been so quiet in the house. So that's that part. Now, with respect to movement, this has been a real issue for me, because I wasn't really given any instruction. I haven't been given a 6-month go back to the GP. They'll tell you whether or not you're free to do, you know, go back to exercise or not go back to exercise, where I'm at. So I've no clue where really I'm at, which is not very helpful. So I've had to do lots of research, and I mean, we do, don't we? And so I found this really excellent woman on YouTube. She's called Jessica Valent, and she had a hysterectomy. She had all kinds of other issues at the same time, but she's a Pilates teacher, I think. So she's done loads of really useful videos on YouTube that I've been using, that kind of take you through the different stages. So I started with a simple one, and basically the exercise was lift your arm, put it down. You think, oh, come on, give me more. But that's not what my body could do. That's all that my body could do. So I've been growing this practice, and I'm on to her next video, which is including things like some tiny squatting, which is so nice to do something, and some arm exercises, which is brilliant. So she's really worth looking up. but I've not really been able to get any helpful information from my GP or from anyone of that kind of nature. So, but one of the things that Jessica Valent says is don't be scared to move. And I think that's so useful, because I have been really scared. I'm not going to rip something inside. I'm going to, just blood's going to be everywhere again. That is one of my big fears. Or I'm going to get loads of pain, or, all of these things. So there's this reticence to move. So I'm working through that, obviously, and I'm moving anyway. I'm doing my exercises. I'm walking every day. I'm going to the park. I'm loving being outside, obviously. But yeah, it's a good tip, I think. Don't be scared to move if you're in this position, but try and feel. It's difficult, the listen to your body thing at this stage, because my body's not talking to me in the way it did before. But try and make sure that you're not overdoing it. Just do little baby steps, which we talked about the other day. I had, when I first started, I had to have like loads of pillows behind me in bed in order to sit up, not be on I'm a side sleeper, so not be on my side to sleep. So it was dreadful. I didn't sleep very well at all, and so uncomfortable. But now I'm actually lying on, I have some extra pillows for under my knees and things to just not have stretching too much in the stomach, but I'm still having those. But I don't think that's going to last that much longer. So I'm kind of back to a normal sleeping position, which is such a relief. But otherwise, yeah, I'm moving. I feel like I'm moving forward. I'm definitely excited to burst through my my bud. Does that make sense? I talked about it earlier. And move forward into my what feels like a really fresh way of being, and a new beginning. And it's a brilliant time of year for this kind of thing, because we've just had the solstice, so the darkest time. So light is starting to come back into the world, and I'm starting to emerge as this new Frances. And I mean, I'm excited. I'm very excited. So I think that's all I have. It's quite a long chat. I've got more of these hysterectomy ones if you're interested. Otherwise, let me know in the comments down below if you've got any questions, or if there's anything that you want me to talk about next. Otherwise, have a most glorious day. If you are going through any form of abdominal surgery, then all the best, and I hope you heal well. And lots of love, and take care. Okay, bye-bye.